Hey Andromedans, welcome to Starseed Energetics. I'm going to get into your reading, but first I want to thank all of the various Andromedans that have reached out to me or left me positive comments on my readings. For some reason, a lot of Andromedans are resonating with my energy and it's really, really sweet. So thank you. So from the Thoth Tarot, you have the Wheel of Fortune. And on the bottom of this, you have the Lust card. You probably feel these energies already because we're already into the first week of February, that this month is pretty profound for you energetically. And from the Thoth Tarot deck, I pulled the Fortune card, which is 10 in terms of numerology. And then on the bottom of this deck was actually 11, which is a consecutive little linear narrative that you're getting. Let me get into this. So this wheel is symbolizing this crystallization of quantum potential. And this is a state that you achieve in ultimate self-awareness, with this self not just being your personal self, but as your complex of interweaving energies type of self. This happens when you are almost at this enlightened spectrum of consciousness where you experientially realize the quantum potential of each moment and its constant state of change, yet having this strength in consciousness to direct where this change is going. This is a really profound stage. And this Fortune card is this universal favor of luck. And this luck is a result of your ability to not fear this constant and perpetual and eternal state of change, because you have come to this position of knowing yourself as the creator and driver behind this force of change. Change is this state of, if someone were to tell you every single moment is an actual parallel reality that you're surfing through, it might be frightening to a lot of people to consider that notion and in fear of losing control. But at this stage of realization of self as the cosmic consciousness and the driver of all things, you have this exercise in strength where you are no longer afraid to surf through quantum potentials, because you have this solid connection to yourself and all of its levels up to its primordial consciousness. And it's not something that you necessarily have to understand and know what it is, because the need to know is a very human tendency. When you're at a level where you can allow yourself to expand your sense of self to the multiple different levels that are infinite, then you don't have a need to grasp the primordial, because you are it and you don't need to know it or be certain that it is you. You just are. Now let's get into what's coming up underneath, these sub-energies to these massive, massive chunks of what you're going through. So, to me, it's like, yes, the wheel signifies some sort of luck, but this luck is actually your state of realization now, because even this idea of luck is a conditional state, and it's no longer that you need this condition for you to understand the trajectory at which it's unfolding. As soon as you tap into this realization of power, there is no paradigm outside of universal luck, and you're at this position where you're no longer afraid of the lower swings or the polaric swings, because you have this center point groundedness that is not affected, you know? You have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of this, deck, which is, you know, who doesn't want the Ten of Pentacles there? So in this UFO deck, if you could see this, the Ten of Pentacles, there's this twin flame type energy union with these dogs, so like this union with the nature elements, and then there's all of these discs that are flying that are represented by these earthly UFOs, which the inner earth beings, of course, they have their own UFOs, and even human beings have UFOs. The human government has UFOs. Not UFOs, but spacecrafts. Not just SpaceX, but just our government has spacecrafts, and so do inner earth beings. And so these are the inner earth spacecrafts that are pictured as the 10 of discs. And it signifies a point where you are over this, you have this union. You're experiencing this unity consciousness at a level where it's not even like, oh, me and the other people are one. It's when you get to this unity consciousness, as I'm sure you will understand my words if you're listening to this, that the very notion of subjectivity is obliterated upon unity consciousness. So it's not even about subjectively experiencing oneness. It's no longer a subjective experience. And at that level, when it seeps into your human, because, you know, that's like a higher state than this operating human type of energy, when that gets integrated with that human, and so you have this harmony between you and your environment and your relationships, you start to remember bigger goals. So all of your biggest dreams that you had as a human is no longer even relevant. You start to have these bigger visions, and this is that state 10 of discs in this deck, that yes, you are materially kind of manifesting all that you need, but that's not the end of it, because as soon as you harmonize with your physical environment, you remember the bigger picture, you remember the higher will. But this physical unity and the kind of harmony that you're manifesting this month is only but a stepping stone to the higher will. But for the previous versions of yourself, this was like the highest achievement it could possibly think. But, you know, we're eternal and we're infinite, and so it doesn't end there. But yeah, let's see what other cards you have. Okay, so actually at the bottom of the UFO deck, you have the Devil card, which is a unhealthy kind of attachment to any certain concepts or any patterns in your life. And this actually is bringing up the notion of shadow work, integration of shadows and dark aspects. I'm actually guided to share with you this one exercise that it's like a ritual that you do. So turn your neck to the far right and look to the right. So eyeball movements are very important in these rituals that I'm sharing with you. And picture any type of relationship with a paradigm or a human that is negative, and then turn your head sharply to the left and breathe out and release all of the negative attachments, emotions, and thought forms. So I'm going to repeat this. Breathe in, look to the right, and actually turn your eyeballs to the right, and do the exact opposite while breathing out and release all attachments. And do that until the dark shadows are integrated. This is an exercise from one of Almin's publications, which I really, really recommend all of her work. Anyways, yes, there's a need to integrate that, and it is this energy of Eight of Swords, which is one level victimhood, just victimhood. And everything else kind of springs from that. You are not a victim of any circumstance. So perhaps this integration has to do with this idea of victimhood and just this really useless mental chatter that I don't even think is so prevalent in your reality anymore. Like, this chatter will continue to go on. It can, but you don't feel so associated with it anymore. You kind of have this space between you and that body of chatter that you don't really invest yourself emotionally anymore. Because if you look at these other cards that came up, they're very, very positive. Here's the Ace of Wands, which is a new creative venture. I'm getting that this could also be related to romance and relationship, or this could, if not, be applied to any creative projects, new opportunity that is like a huge manifestation for you, in which it will support your work, that the universe will support your work so that you are in harmony with your material world. But I am very much guided to share with you that this harmony with your environment is not going to settle for anything less than the best possible option. So until you deprogram yourself that this harmony requires some sort of like a 9 to 5 or any kind of belief structures that you have, until you deprogram that, it's not going to give you what you want. And it's very possible that even when you deprogram it, it'll come is almost exactly how you wanted it to unfold. But there is a need for you to stop attaching certain things that are irrelevant. A huge thing that I want to mention is body image, eating, and exercise that is so intertwined, and health that are so intertwined with the concepts of one another because of social conditioning. But what if I told you what you eat has nothing to do with the pattern of your exercise? What you exercise has nothing to do with the pattern of your health. They are all separate concepts and separate frequencies that exist on different realms, but the society has brainwashed everybody to think they are intertwined. Of course it's intertwined, as in everything is intertwined and everything affects one another, but it's not as deeply braided into each other's as we're conditioned to believe. That's an example that I'm guided to share with you. But in any case, you are successful in doing this because you're successful in deprogramming these beliefs, and you're successful in this achievement and taking this opportunity to make your creativity into fruition or start this relationship because you have victory. And I love this horse because if you look at this, I really love this deck. It's such a basic deck, but it's like the best, one of the best. Look at this horse like giving him cut eye. I just want to point that out. So on one level, you know, this is this union with your harmony and the nature that is prevalent in a lot of your cards. There's this harmony with the natural forces and the animal realms and whatever. But this horse giving him cut eye, okay, number one, I have to share with you that you need to get more humor in your life, because I feel like you're so damn serious, and sometimes you're like so involved with like spiritual growth and like shifting dimensions that you forget to do things that make you laugh. You forget to do things that are like playful, and you need to just kind of realize like on higher dimensions is just so funny for them to like watch us human beings like be so fucking serious. Like, why are you so serious? You know, it's like relax a little bit and do things that like watch things that make you laugh, and do things that make you laugh, and do things that make you happy. Like one thing that I really recommend for people to try is to try playing your favorite music and dancing in pitch dark. So this is something that like a lot of tribal like natives and shamans will do in order to like maximize your pineal gland activity. But aside from your pineal gland, it's just so interesting to just dance from sensation rather than actually experiencing how your body looks while you're dancing, like look in the mirror or anything, just purely going from physical sensations rather than the visual. You know, that's something that you can try to bring joy to your mind, body, spirit complex that you experience in this dimension. Okay, on another level, it's to ask you to be mindful of when people can feel jealousy or discomfort from your level of success. And if you're anything like me, I a lot of the times used to suppress my own potential so that people don't get uncomfortable or that people don't feel jealousy, because I feel bad for them. I feel guilt for making them feel that way. But on a certain level, you have to realize you have to grow as bright as you can, because even though temporarily they're going to feel jealous or they're going to feel uncomfortable, on the long run, you're going to be such an inspiration to them and inspire them to resonate. So that discomfort that the people around you feel are temporary. And so you need to make the decision that it's better just to go full out and be the best version of yourself, even if it makes people uncomfortable at the moment. So the next layer, which is the UFO tarot, you have the Seven of Wands, which talks to me in this deck about finding new realms and finding new truths about yourself. And obviously with all these hefty energies that you're going through, you're going to be facing these new aspects of yourself and aspects of your reality. And it's a kind of caution to not generate or buy into the fears that can come from that. And you can find this when this comes about, that you find new things about your reality and some fears come up, you can always find the same energetic pattern from your past. So even if it's like on a level of finding this extraterrestrial civilization that is dark, for example, and that they've been tracking you or something, or implanted you with etheric things, for example, then you can find the same energy blueprint from your past where it's not on that level, but it was similar. And so you can invoke whatever you use to heal yourself from that pattern and apply it to this one. So don't be afraid. Don't let this cloud your, like, look at this. It's like the mental like victimhood that you feel. So I would invite you to take stock of your life and what's happened until now, and really get into remembrance on your biggest challenges and how you overcame them, as if you were talking to me, somebody who would understand, or just your best friend or your higher self. Just think that you're telling them all of your biggest traumas, and whatever you fear is playing out now, you'll be able to find the same kind of seed in the past. So you can either heal that by using your past narrative, or you can heal the past by using your current narrative. But either way, you can heal from this. And this Eight of Swords comes up, which I'm going to interpret this in this context as your need to stay strong to your structure and your truth. You need to stay strong to your main priority of a truth. So hopefully you have your main priority defined in your lifetime. If you haven't done that, it's essential for you to define your main priority of this lifetime. Even if it's going to change later, what is your main priority for this lifetime? And make it as ambitious as you can. And then that main priority is going to guide you and lead you through these times of turmoil where you have to really authentically embody your energy of that priority. Because it seems like when things are turning in your favor, there's going to be a bunch of things, obstacles that come up that you never even anticipated. I'm going to use myself as an example because I feel like personal examples help you find the pattern in your life. So when I started this YouTube channel a couple months ago, I never thought about guys contacting me and asking me if I'm single, and those things like really bother me for personal reasons. I'm just like not interested in it. It's not a problem for me to transmute it, but it's just something that I never thought of. So these are little things that I never even thought about having to deal with, right? There's always going to be things like this when you're going your path that come up. And so this tells me whenever there's these hindrances to your energies and it's not going as smoothly as you want it to be, or you face these little obstacles, don't feel like it wasn't meant to happen, because all these little obstacles are actually these seeds of energy tweaks that you should make to become more holistic. So get rid of this thought that any detours shouldn't be happening, because it should. Even if things are not unfolding as fast as you wanted to, that's the energetic blueprint you actually have to overcome. And even if things are not happening the way you wanted to, that doubt that creeps in sometimes, that you might not manifest the best thing possible because it's not going your way, the doubt is the energetic blueprint you need to transmute, etc. So that was your tarot reading. So I'm going to end this off with a short oracle card reading. Yeah. It's super interesting because in the Thoth Tarot card, you had the Strength card, which is lust. And in the Oracle card, you have strength. So it looks like your inner strength is not challenged this month, but actually performing incredibly well. It's like you've been cultivating the strength, and it looks like you are at a point where it's almost like that light body, you know, like Mario, not Mario Kart, but the actual Mario, I don't know what exactly it's called, the Mario game, and he eats the mushroom or something, he eats the star, and then he generates this rainbow body, and he gets invincible if he runs into his enemies. This is inner strength. That's the invulnerability that you cultivate as you've been working on this strength. And so this month, you have that rainbow body. And yeah, you keep building on it. And I don't know how your life is going to unfold. I just know about this pocket of energy. But you're almost at this invincible stage where whatever comes your way, you just are so strong through that. And it's like you have this joy of encountering things and not being harmed by them. Then you have the Gentle Gardener card, which is an ironic energy, but a beautiful balance of energy to the Strength card. So it's like this gentle, flexible strength that is not imbalanced in terms of masculinity and femininity. It's a very balanced approach. And this way of something new has birthed in your life. Because from the Strength card too, there's that little tree on the top of the globe, and this Gentle Gardener is about protecting this new paradigm. It's these small little dreams, like this incubating of these new birth cycle that have just been planted in your reality, and you're watching over them and you're gently gardening them to fruition. And so it's at a stage where it's still, you need to protect it. And I think that is why you have this massive strength coming not only from yourself, but from your environment, from the elementals and your guides. And every single universal force you can possibly think of is actually behind you. And it's incredible because the last card is the Bone Collector. And this Bone Collector is about you saving a portion of yourself. It's like you've put away an aspect of yourself it's like a time capsule to dig it up at this time period in this timeline. So maybe an ability or a certain memory of yourself that has been hidden away, that you've put away like a time capsule. You're going to be digging that back up and reuniting with that this month. And I think part of it is this immaculate strength and this invocation of universal energies that you know how to summon. And so looks like a very heavy, in a good way, month. And I hope that this reading has been helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in and resonating with my energy, because me serving you and you letting me serve you while I serve myself is just an incredible kind of honor to my life. It is. So Thank you again, and I am sending you so much love.